Awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. Hello from the Hansen Group. I'm Claudia Harry with Leanne Riley and Brandon Purdy from the K through 12 team. We are so excited you're joining us with Winston and a really fun edition of Hold Your Buns and Everything Else. We're so excited to bring to you this morning great information about Winston's C-Vap technology. We know that they've been the leader in hot holding technology for just 4 decades in our schools, but we do know that C-Vap is an unparalleled hot holding technology. But today we're not only going to talk about holding, we're going to talk about cooking, and we're going to use lots of school products today. And you're even going to see a cameo appearance by Steve Shockley of ProView Chicken, because we wanted to make sure you were seeing some food that you are definitely using in your Georgia schools and throughout the Southeast. But our overall goal today is for you just to see how you can do more with what you have, or see what you need to add to your equipment wish list overall. Today in the kitchen to the left, we have Corey with Winston. He is our regional Southeast manager. You've seen Corey at Equipment Academy for at least the last 3 Equipment Academies, which is so exciting. He's held his position as our regional manager since 2010. We couldn't be more proud to work with Corey through all our education endeavors. But the other thing that we're also super proud of is that Corey has sat on the National School Nutrition Association board in various positions and industry advisory board position. For us, that's super important because it shows you how much he's just all into school nutrition. To Corey's right is the most wonderful Chef Sam Brown. If anybody was at Equipment Academy this year, you saw Chef Sam go live. She carries dual degrees, one from Sullivan Culinary Arts and then the other, University of Kentucky, Go Cats, in food science. She's got 15 years of experience, and if you guys keep an eye on the chat, I'm going to drop a really fun fact about Chef Sam. In the background will be Ryan Furtick and his team of just unparalleled and highly accomplished marketing team helping us with all the technology. So we're super excited to talk about equipment, do live demos, and answer your questions today. So Winston team, let's get started.
Oh, great. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Leanne, and everyone at the Hansen team for that wonderful introduction. Again, like she said, my name is Chef Samantha Brown, and we're going to do some demos for you today, 3 specific ones, and they're multi-component, so we have a lot of stuff to show. The first one is going to be 3 different types of biscuits. We've got whole grain, we've got a traditional Hex Easy Split, and a biscuit stick that some of you might not have seen. It's a really great product. We're going to look at those after an hour hold and fresh out of the oven. The second one is holding only, though we did cook in our RTV ovens here, but we're going to look at 4x6 pizza and some individually wrapped cooking bag items. We got twin cheeseburgers and waffles for that demonstration. And thirdly, we have some great products from ProView, which is our partner. You'll get to talk with Steve later. We've got a breaded chicken fillet and a grilled chicken fillet. And with that, I'm going to go over here and put our live demo in. So we're going to look at a hold versus a fresh out of oven as well.
And while she's doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about C-Vap cabinets and what we do here. So C-Vap is our brand of holding cabinets and ovens. And basically, for all intents and purposes, you have 2 different types of cabinets. You have a dry holding cabinet and you have a humidified holding cabinet. Dry holding cabinets are typically what you see on the serving lines and the pass-throughs. They look just like your refrigerators, or they can be back of the house. The smaller, sometimes the clear plastic doors or even the aluminum cabinets are dry. And dry cabinets basically use an air element as their heat source, and there may be a fan in there, but there's really no way to control moisture loss. And dry heat is an inefficient way to hold food products. If you think about it, when you put a piece of food under a dry heat lamp, you're going to see it start sweating, and it's evaporating moisture out of the food. And what that's doing is it equals temperature loss, because the water is what holds your temperature in your food. So in a humidified cabinet, we're able to use water as our temperature source instead of air. That way we're able to hold more precisely. So I will set my water bath at 130 or 140 degrees. And when I'm in and out of the door, that water is going to stay the same temperature. So it recovers better, it holds temp better. It's going to equal better yields on your product. You're going to have less moisture loss and less nutrient loss on your products. They're going to be healthier. Another thing that it does is it allows you to hold at lower temps. So when you see those serving line holding cabinets, a lot of times they'll be set at 180, 190 degrees, trying to hold at 150 or 160 because they're very inefficient. We can actually hold at 150, 160 instead of 180, 190. So you think about it, you take a product out of a combi, you cooked it at 350, it got to 165, then it goes into a holding cabinet, it's still 165, but the cabinet's set at 180 or 190 to allow for door openings. But when the door's shut, the product's still in there heating up. So you're losing moisture quicker, your product's degrading quicker, and by the time that it hits the kid's plate, a lot of times it doesn't look like it did when it came out of your combi oven. So what we're going to talk about here is humidified cabinets, humidified C-Vap holding cabinets, which traditionally have been more back of the house. A couple of years ago, we gave them a little bit of a facelift. I think they're probably the best looking humidified cabinet on the market right now. But now you have an option for your serving line. So whereas before you just had dry cabinets that look like your refrigerator match, now you've got a Winston C-Vap product. We can do windows, we can do top cover extensions to make them match up height-wise with your refrigerators. We can do different caster options, we can do legs, we can do solid doors on one side, windows on another. As you can see, we've got some cool options coming out in the future. This is a powder-coated unit. We're also looking at some different surfaces. Today's school kitchens look a little different than they did when I was in school. They look more like college campuses or fine dining institutions. So we're actually playing with some laminate options to give a different aesthetic look. But instead of having just a dry cabinet, now I've got a cabinet where I can hold my food where I want it. I can keep it there for hours if I need to. And it looks just as good as any of the other cabinets I'm putting on the line. These are offered in half-size versions. So we do a lot of under-counter units now. I know a lot of schools are doing kiosk feeding locations or even coffee bars or pizza bars sometimes. And we're putting under-counter units in there. We also do drawers. Can't really see the drawer right this second, but we do drawer units that can be used in kiosk locations or also in football stadiums. And they just pull out with double drawers, single drawers. They hold up to a 6-inch hotel pan in there. Sam's got some biscuit sticks coming out now.
I do. So we've got fresh. We can get this on screen. We've got the freshly baked on the left here. So we've got both of the sticks freshly baked and then an hour after holding. So I'm just going to open this one. So this has been holding for an hour. Now, I think the cool thing about C-Vap is that you can reach a target texture. So my favorite target texture for a biscuit or for any sort of carbohydrates, a roll, is about 10 minutes out of the oven. So it's had time to cool down so it doesn't burn your tongue. And it's just hot enough to melt butter or whatever you have on the table or in front of you. And so we've got a beautiful crispness. This is an hour hold and beautifully soft on the inside. I wish we could get a close-up of this. Help me out, Rob. No? Ryan? Give us a close-up here. Kind of the same texture that we got just out of the oven, too. So this is the hot one. Though I've got asbestos fingers, so it's kind of hot. Beautiful texture, nice and crisp on the outside, soft on the inside. And honestly, you wouldn't be able to tell which one was which, out of the oven or out of hold. And that's the beauty of it. So if you wanted a hotter biscuit, you can definitely go hotter than what we did. On a hold here, we did 90, 120, 90 on the vapor, 120 on the air. And we cooked in an RTV oven, a half-size oven. At the vapor was off, so we didn't add any vapor to it. And then 350 on the air. And that is same for all of these. So we did off and 350 to bake them at different times. And then we put them all in the holding cabinet together. So freshly baked versus held over an hour. Just beautiful product. We got some really nice even browning from side to side, front to back. We got a little bit of browning over here. Now what I did do before putting them in the RTV is that I brushed them with a little egg and cream mixture. And you can use butter. You could use a butter flavored oil. It just gives them a nice little sheen to the outside and creates a nice little brown coating for service. Oh, we also have for you today some sunny side up eggs, another cool option or cool thing that shows really well. These are eggs that we did and put in our drawer over here. I don't know if you can see this. Let's see.
Little burger.
A beautiful sunny side up egg with your biscuit. Now you can do poached eggs, scrambled eggs. Again, the cool thing about C-Vap is your target texture. What do you want? Do you want it really soft, like an egg? Do you want it crispy and soft, like a biscuit, with different textures from the inside to the outside? That's what C-Vap was originally developed for, was for fried chicken. So you can have crispy fried chicken, a crispy breading on the outside, nice, soft, moist, tender meat on the inside. So really, really cool things that C-Vap can do for you in holding.
Yeah, so I mean, we're holding sunny side up eggs for an hour plus, which is something that's really hard to do. I mean, you see how loose and creamy that yolk still is after an hour sitting in a holding cabinet. But that's what it does. You're able to extend your hold times because you're able to hold at lower temperatures more precisely. It's even got a labor saving component to it. I mean, if I can pull stuff out of the oven and throw it in a holding cabinet, I know that we want to do batch cooking, but the reality is kids have 20 minutes to eat lunch these days, and you've got to get a ton of kids through the cafeteria in a small amount of time. So being able to batch cook that much food is really just impossible. You've got to have holding cabinets to help you get through that service period. And with a C-Vap cabinet, we can hold for hours and have your labor doing other things and keeping other food going on the plate. So a couple of things about the new cabinets that we haven't talked about yet. We did give them a new look. I think they're a much better looking cabinet. We also changed the controllers a little bit. So on the new units, we have touchscreen controls now. Every oven and holding cabinet has the same controller instead of a bunch of different platforms. All of them have 8 preset programs locked in there. You can change those 8 preset programs, but the thought process is when staff come in, I'm gonna back one of these off real quick. Maybe I can get, no, you can't see that one, can you?
What do you need?
I'm trying to see a cabinet that's off right this second.
How about over here?
Yeah, let's go over here. So with our 8 program channels, the thought process is staff members can come in, turn the unit on. They can look at their sheet, see we're doing breaded chicken patties today. That's channel 1. Hit channel 1, it's going to preheat to the locked in temperature and times that are already in there. And when it's ready to go, it's going to say heated, and all you have to do is hit start. So 3 buttons and you're cooking or holding in all of these units. On the left-hand side, we have a little Ipod wheel, and it helps you go through all the different functions. I can change my 8 channels. I can do delay start. I can change the volume. I can also do USB uploads. So on the left-hand side over here, we actually have a USB port and an aux port. The primary function of this is to upload and download information from the cabinet. So all of our C-Vap cabinets store the HACCP temperature data for up to a year. So I can plug in a USB, download my HACCP information from my cabinet, lock it into a computer, and then it comes out in an Excel spreadsheet. On the 7 series cabinets, we offer a food probe, and so I can actually get the food probe temperature data along with the cabinet temperature data. As far as uploads, if we have a software update that we need to do, instead of having a servicer come out to do that for you, you can actually go to the website and download the latest version of the software, upload it to the cabinet, and keep all of your equipment running at top performance. The aux port, I don't know that you'll actually use it in the kitchen, but if you wanted to plug in an iPod and play some music, you can definitely do that. Got some pizzas coming out now.
We got some pizzas. So here we have some 4x6 pizza, the sausage pizza. It's a Tony's brand. We, of course, baked these on full sheet pans that were sprayed with pan release in our RTV that Corey was just demonstrating to you with. And then we put them in a holding cabinet at 150 vapor, 180 air. And it looks like it just came out of the oven. The underside of the pizza is nice and dry. Where's my pizza wheel? There you are. The tops are nice and glistening. And these have been holding for an hour, and I think they could probably go at least another hour, if not 2.5 hours total, I would think, and still be just perfect for service.
And these are your typical white cheese elementary, middle school pizzas. You know, too often I see them get cooked perfectly on the front end, so they come out of a combi or a convection oven, and they've got the nice white cheese, no browning, just like the kids like. But by the time you get done holding it in a holding cabinet for an hour, there's just dry heat at 180 or 190 degrees. They inevitably get browning on the top. Yeah. They start to dry out, and the kids, you know, you can see them coming by. They're like, I don't want that one. I want one that's not burnt.
Those edges kind of curl up too, and you can notice that, and you don't see that here. This is a really good setting for a standard 4x6 pizza, any sort of topping or flavor or whatever you want to call it. Also, you notice the pretty standard browning from edge to edge, front to back. That's another good thing about the C-Vap RTV. It has very minimal stratification, and it just does a great job. And you can put, I think we did 10 shelves total, or normally when we do a full load, we'll do 10 shelves total. This is just 4, but this was shelf after shelf after shelf after shelf. So, and sometimes you don't see that in like a convection or something. You'll definitely see hot spots, and a quarter of your product is gone. And here, I would say all of this is servable. All right.
Before we move on, we got a couple of questions in the chat side, so I'm going to answer those as we go so we don't lose them. One question is, can you use the new controller with gloves on? Yes, you absolutely can use it with gloves on. It's not like your iPhone. It doesn't require fingerprint recognition on there to be able to work, or skin recognition to work. You can just use gloves. Can you program a school's fight song in there? I don't believe we've gotten to that one yet, but that will.
What was the question?
Can we program a school's fight song
Oh.
into the cabinet?
You can put it on your phone and then
Right.
put it in the audio jack, so you can play it through the speakers on the unit itself. But it can't. That's a really good question.
Yeah, I don't think you should plug the UK fight song in there anyway.
Ouch.
Sorry, I'm still a little sore after that loss they
A
gave
little
us the
early
other
for
day.
that, Corey. A little early.
Coming off a football weekend. So just recapping on the holding cabinets, all humidified cabinets, we use the water bath as our temperature source. It's 2.5 gallons of water. You can fill them manually or add an autofill option to have them plumbed in from the wall, so you don't have to worry about that. We've got full size, we've got half size, we've got drawers, we've got narrow units, we've got 3/4 units, 20 amp, 15 amp. We've got holding in C-Vap in a bunch of different configurations. So really anything that you need.
All right, Corey, we've got individually wrapped cooking bag waffles that we did in the RTV with the pizzas at the same time. And then these went into 2 different holds. So this one went into what we would call a soft hold, 145, 155. And this one went into the crisp hold that we put in with the pizza, this 150, 180. So when I talk like that, the first number is always going to be the vapor. So 145 vapor, 155 air, 150 vapor, 180 air. These products are really forgiving. So I would say the cool thing about that is whatever sort of hold that you've got, if you just have one cabinet and you've got a crisp hold or a moist hold, you can put these types of products in either or and still be good to go. And they're nice and warm, they're soft. Like I said, they've got their own little microclimate inside the package, and you don't have to worry about them so much, especially these types of items. So we also have the cheeseburger from Advanced Pierre. Same thing. This is in a crisp hold. You gonna break those open, Corey? A soft hold. Oh, we need plate. You got the crisp, I got the soft. There's some flexibility and some versatility for you. Of course, this is a protein product, so you got to keep it at a certain temperature. But this is the soft. This is the crisp. Nice pliable bun. I would say it's heated all the way through and warm. It's not hot. I've got gloves on, so I'm a little desensitized. Works great.
I don't. It's fairly hot.
All right.
So the cool thing about that is, you know, not only can you cook and hold in those cabinets, but you can do these bag products. And like you said, the bag kind of takes away from the greater aspects of the holding cabinet. You can't really affect the texture of the product because it's got that layer in between. But as far as temperature wise, again, the water bath is the most efficient way to use temperature. So holding these for an extended period of time is very easy to do.
One thing I'd like to note, since you know our cabinets do have vapor in them, using this kind of, you know, where your whole arm is protected. So many times I've used a towel or just what have you, and just barely sticking my hand in, I'll get a little jump back. So definitely protect yourself. Use something like this, or even a little mitt like that. Just a little tip.
Yeah.
Right.
So talking about the ovens a little bit, our ovens are called RTVs, or retherm ovens. They're a cook and hold oven, so you can use them as a holding cabinet, you can use them as an oven, or you can use the combined technology of both at the same time. They're 350 max temp ovens, so you're not going to get your 500 degrees like you do in a combi or a convection oven and be able to cook French fries in 2.5 minutes. But the cool thing about them is they're like the gap in between a convection oven and a combi. I'm not as fast as a combi, but I'm about as fast as a convection oven with more versatility. Because I have that 2.5 gallons of water in the bottom and I can heat that up to 200 degrees, I can do everything from baking to even low temperature steaming in the unit. And again, it doubles as the best holding cabinet in your kitchen if you're not using it. So why do we only go to 350? At 350 or below, you don't have to go under a hood. We don't give off a lot of grease-laden vapors out of this cabinet. So anywhere you have the power to run it in your kitchen, you can plug this unit in and be cooking and holding in a very small footprint. So it's 14 sheet pans in the full-size units. You've got half-size units at 5 sheet pans, which you can stack like these, like your typical convection oven stacks or combi stacks. And I can do 2 different things in 2 different cabinets. But again, the versatility and the fact that it doesn't have to go under a hood, to me, I can do without the 500 degrees. And because it's cook and hold, I don't have to be sitting there every 7 or 8 minutes when something comes out of the unit. I can cook a large batch of product at one time, and it's going to go into a hold when the cook cycle is done. So I don't even have to touch it again until I pull it out for service. And that's real labor saving right there. Being able to free your staff up to do something else and trust that your cabinet's not only going to cook your food properly, but it's going to hold it properly as well is a big weight off the mind. So we're doing a full gamut of food products in here to kind of show you that versatility. We've got pizzas, we've done bagged items, we've got grilled chicken breasts, we've got breaded chicken products, we've done biscuits. Really, this cabinet will do everything except for your high temperature, very dry processes. You know, some bread items that you probably wouldn't do in a school setting anyway. So really anything that you want to run in it in a kitchen, it'll do it.
All right, let's look at our chicken products. Yeah, let's get those out. Grab those. I'll get the ones holding. We'll grill first. Okay. So just out of the oven. Just out of the oven holding. Just out of the oven. All right. So here we have some ProView products. We've got a 3-ounce grilled chicken breast fillet. Both of these are whole muscle products. I believe the chicken comes in like a 10-pound, really nice lightweight case. But here we have the chicken breast that's been holding for an hour and then straight out of the oven. And I'm just going to take a knife and a plate, and we're going to cut into both of them. I'm going to just take this guy. Nice, tender, juicy. And then, of course, the cooked one out of the oven. Beautiful product. Nice, tender, juicy for that. Now, for the breaded item, I don't know about you guys, but I might get a little lazy and forget, or actually forgetful, and this particular item asked me to flip it in at about 5-6 minutes in, and I didn't do that. Especially today, I wanted to show you a little trick that I learned along the way. Putting it on the rack on the front end and just spraying it with a little Pam. It comes off beautifully and nice and dry, crispy on the outside. So this is the one straight out of the oven. This is the one that's been holding. Also these, actually, this was a happy accident. I did a heavy slack on some of these breaded items and just put them on the tray. And I did not flip these, but they came out beautiful on both sides, nice and crispy, no moisture migration through the breading. So a couple tips for you there.
I think that's actually a good tip. You know, especially when you're cooking at 350 or below, when you're doing a lot of frozen product in there, especially in full size units.
Yeah.
If I put 14 sheet pans of frozen product into an oven, I'm going to get a lot of drag down on my temperature. So let's say that I start at 350, it's going to pull my temperature down anywhere from 50 to 75 degrees right off the bat. And now I've got to recover. So when you slack your items, I have some districts that actually put the items in a speed rack the night before and roll them in a cooler. Or you can just slack them, you know, in a speed rack out in the open air during service or before service. But bringing that temperature up a little bit before you put it into the oven, it's not only going to cut down on your cook time, but it's also going to yield some better results in certain settings as well.
Excellent.
So
What else do we have?
before, these again were ProView chicken products. They held very well. They cooked very well. Before we turn it over to Steve, I just want to say a couple of things before we go. One is we offer a trade-in program. So any of your ovens or holding cabinets, they don't have to be Winston. They can be any brand holding cabinet or oven, or even if some people still have fryers, we've done trade-ins on those. But for a full-size oven, the trade-in value is up to $1,000, and on the full-size holding cabinets, the trade-in value is $500. For Winston products, there's actually an extra $250 in there. So in times like these, obviously this has been a crappy year for everybody. We know you guys are struggling with your participation rates and funds coming in. So the trade-in program is something that I think will be especially good for schools this year. Another thing that I want to say is the equipment grant opened this month. And I know everybody loves the equipment grant when it comes around. But one of the things that I see is we get busy around the holidays. We don't necessarily always have time to get it done. Please go online and fill out your equipment grant applications. It's a giveaway of up to 10 pieces of equipment. It can be 10 ovens. It can be 10 holding cabinets. It's 10 pieces of whatever you want that we make for the school market. That makes a big difference in any program. And again, especially a year like this year. So if you have any questions, let us know. The Hansen group, us at Winston directly, we can help you get through that. But please get your applications in. We'll get back to these questions in just a second. I want to go ahead and introduce Steve Shockley and let him talk about ProView Foods a little bit, and then we'll jump to the Q&A. Morning, Steve.
Hey, good morning. How is everyone this morning?
Oh, we're good.
Excellent, excellent. Well, definitely appreciate the opportunity to be able to join the whole group this morning. And I don't know how many people are watching. I don't have that information on my screen, but whoever is on, I'm glad you took the time out of your day to join us. Again, I'm Steve Shockley. I'm our new National K-12 Director of Sales. ProView, a little background on our company. ProView Foods was a company created about 12 years ago, sold products in the school segment. We were purchased 6 years ago from John Souls Foods. So John Souls Foods is the company, and ProView the brand for K-12. And so the two items that you put for us today were our low sodium. Three of our top selling items. As you can see from the video, they look great. They're very popular with students. They're easy to cook. They have a great flavor profile, and they meet all the nutritional requirements that are desired. And so we are constantly coming out with new items, innovative items, and certainly we've had to put a little bit of a hold on that this year due to the pandemic, but we're definitely excited about getting back out into the market probably at the first of the year to showcase some of our new items, but certainly appreciate our time with you this morning. And you know, if there are any questions that anyone has regarding chicken products, any kind of technical chicken questions, our approach to K-12 business, anything at all, please feel free to ask. I'm here for the remainder of the video call, and so I'd love to talk with anyone who's interested in this product line. So again, I appreciate the time and appreciate the opportunity of being able to join you this morning.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you for letting us use some of your chicken products, man. They performed well. Sam's actually making a chicken biscuit with egg right now. That's going to be our breakfast this morning. I want to jump to a couple of questions in the chat bar before we just open it up to Q&A. One was, what type of training does Winston offer schools that want to learn more to do with their Winstons in their kitchens? There's 3 different avenues for this. One, we can have the Hansen group come out and spend some time with you and do some demos. 2, you can always get on the phone and video chat with me or FaceTime me, and I'd be glad to answer any questions your staff has. Or 3, with COVID, we've all had to adapt and learn how to use technology to our benefit. And I know everybody's probably been on more Zoom meetings than they cared to deal with this year. But this was actually a trial run of a new AV setup in our test kitchen. And Sam's going to be using this to her advantage. Whereas we would used to send the chef out into the field sometimes, now she can be in the field every day on video and just conference you guys in and do any kind of training that we need to do. Another question is ventless approved everywhere, and do I need special documentation? So we actually have documentation that our ovens can go hoodless. It's from a national control board that does that, but just like with health inspections or anything else, local code supersedes if it tends to be stricter than national code. So you could very well have a fire marshal or somebody tell you that they don't care what the national code says, they want you to put it under a hood. There are a couple of different avenues that you can go down if that's the case, and we'll be glad to help you out with those. But for the most part, I don't have any problems with our ovens being hoodless. I've only been told, I think, twice by a school district that they had to put them under a hood. From the grants, so one director asked, directors want to know, should they write in their documentations, or what should they write in their documentations to capture Winston's attention? So I'll be glad to help you with filling out your application if you have any questions. The one thing is, though, Winston does not decide the winner. The grant is actually done through School Nutrition Foundation. And once they get the number of applications that they're looking for, they actually go through all of those and determine those based on merit. We don't actually pick the winners for those. So it kind of takes a little bit of the bias out for us and lets them handle that. So Steve's got a question.
Yeah.
What are your crowd pleaser items?
Yeah, one of our, I would say one of our most popular items is our Chick-fil-A style chicken nuggets. We have a solid muscle chicken bite that's lightly breaded and marinated in dill pickle juice. And the product looks, tastes, performs like a Chick-fil-A chicken nugget without the cost. And also, I will mention also that the Chick-fil-A item is not whole grain. Ours is whole grain breaded. And Chick-fil-A cooks their product in peanut oil, which is an allergen, and we cook ours in soybean oil. So for anyone with a peanut allergy, that could be, you know, a good thing. As well as Chick-fil-A products carry MSG, our products do not. So we think we've got a healthier alternative to what Chick-fil-A carries, and it's been a very, very big crowd pleaser in the K-12 segment.
I know they're asking Steve if he can email the spec out for that Chick-fil-A cabinet. I'm sure he'll get that. Another question is, do your cabinets come cord and plug installed? And is there anything special you need to add to the specs? The answer is yes, they do come cord and plug installed. You don't have to do anything special. On the old style holding cabinets, a lot of times we would have the cord come out of the top, especially when you have pass-through cabinets on the serving line and you got your top cover extensions up here. We would run the cord up through that and it would plug into the ceiling and the soffit. Now the cord actually comes out of the back of the cabinet. It can still be run up into the soffit, but we don't have to have it come out of the top anymore. It's just one position in the back of the cabinet. Our cabinets come in 15 amp or 20 amp. They're all 120 volt on the holding cabinets. The ovens can be 208 or 240, single or three phase in the half size units and three phase only in the full size units. And depending on what size you get, you need anywhere from a 30 to a 50 amp circuit for that. So I think we're coming up on time. So if there's not any more questions, I'm going to pass it to Claudia and the Hansen group to check us out for the day.
Thank you so much, Corey, Sam, Ryan, Steve. We really appreciate you guys all hosting today live from Winston in Kentucky. Again, one more time, go Cats. Outside of that, thank you so much. It was a really great roadmap to showing school foods pairing up with our holding and our oven technology. Our goal for you today was just to show you how to expand your offerings using our pieces of technology. We look forward to following up with anyone that has additional questions about the grant, and Writing Winston will be great about helping with some of that terminology that may really help out. So thanks for clarifying that, Corey. For everybody on the call, we can't thank you enough for your time. You've been awesome to stay along with us through the whole month with these GSNA virtually bridging the gap videos and lives. We have 3 more events coming up, so please stick with us. We've sent out emails and invites, but Winston, thank you for being great hosts and providing wonderful, wonderful information. We look forward to talking with everybody. Have a great day.